all the blessings.
Dear Sri Bhagavan, what is the next phase of oneness?
The next phase of oneness? The next phase of oneness is your divine must become physical to you. Your divine must walk out of the Srimurti. If your divine happens to be Christ, Christ must walk out physically to you. And you got to talk to your God. And your God would take over and solve all your problems. That is the next phase of oneness. It is happening in a big way in India, and it will soon start in the US also.
Beloved Bhagavan, thank you for the oneness phenomenon. Thank you for awakening us. What is needed for you to manifest physically in our homes, Sri Bhagavan?
What is needed for your divine to physically manifest is, you should carry no hurt and you should be filled with gratitude. We would also be sending you a process which you have got to follow. Once you do that, your divine would come out of the Srimurti and then would start relating to you depending on you. Suppose you have designed your divine in a particular way, your divine would behave accordingly. It's all up to you.
Thank you, Sri Bhagavan. Sri Bhagavan, what is authentic self? Is it the higher self, or is it pure ego without conditioning?
It is neither the higher self nor the ego without conditioning. Let's say someone comes home and you smile at the person and you invite him to come inside and you offer him a cup of coffee, but inwardly you detest his coming home and you do not like offering him that cup of coffee. And if you happen to see what is going on inside, that is the authentic self.
Thank you, Sri Bhagavan. Dear Sri Bhagavan, what do you want from us to do in this work right now?
In this work right now, I want you all to become God realized, because it is now happening very, very fast. It is happening in thousands of places. It is happening. So I want that to happen to you.
Beloved Bhagavan, could you please explain us the process of transformation after awakening?
The brain is neuroplastic in nature. When the brain changes, your perception changes. When perception changes, your brain changes. What we do in the process is, we initiate a brain change. And when the brain changes, we tell you you are awakened. Now when the brain changes initially, you might be aware of it or you might not be aware of it. Therefore, we tell you you are awakened or not. And we also give you a number. The number indicates the amount of change which has taken place in the brain. This you could call the first step of awakening. Once this has happened, you would be able to stay with the waters without effort. When that happens, we call it the second level of awakening. Now when this happens, you might be aware that you are awakened, or you might not be awakened, or you might not be aware that you are awakened, in which case we again inform you whether you are awakened or not and what has happened to the brain. At the third level, this staying with the waters without effort happens for more than 49 minutes. Initially it happens for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and then slowly it moves to 49 minutes. When it moves to 49 minutes, you know you are awakened. No one need tell you you are awakened. You know it. Once that happens, transformation starts. Transformation means flowering of the heart. Flowering of the heart means, just like the brain change, the heart physically changes. Once that happens, you feel connected to people, to animals, to plants, to the whole of nature. And you're deeply concerned about others, and you become very, very responsible, and you become totally conflict free. This is the third level of awakening. Once this has happened, the staying with the what is without effort grows in time. It becomes 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Finally, it becomes 24 hours and happens very naturally and easily, like breathing. Once that happens, we call you fully awakened, or we say you are enlightened. And no one need tell you that. You know it for yourself. And then begins God realization. Now this whole process, we call it the long way. It's a long process. The short processes or the short ways, your divine must physically manifest to you. And if your divine physically manifests to you and talks to you, it's all over in no time. Be it full awakening or transformation or anything for that matter, is all over in no time. That is the short way. Now oneness is moving towards the short way. It's up to you to choose the long way or the short way.
Beloved Bhagavan, how important is it to discuss miracles that people are experiencing and listening to people who are awakened?
It is important because if you keep listening to these things, the same thing would happen to you.
Thank you, Bhagavan. Dear Shri Bhagavan, many of us are new to oneness. What is your vision for us as individuals and collectively for the world?
You have to become God realized. When I say God realized, your God must be real to you. Not a mystical God, but a physical God with whom you could walk and talk, with whom you could dine, with whom you could shake hands. You should be able to feel his breath, feel his body, feel his clothes. I mean that kind of God. So that you've got to realize. Once that happens to you, not only you're totally transformed, not only your problems are solved, but you would be able to help thousands of people. And when this happens, the world would be completely transformed. That is what we expect from you.
Thank you, Shri Bhagavan. Dear Bhagavan, many of us have been envisioning oneness centers here at home. Perhaps we would live together, focused on higher consciousness for ourselves and others, sharing our resources and offering oneness events for the public. Shri Bhagavan, are we on the right track? Will you please give us your advice and divine blessings for this, Bhagavan?
You are on the right track. In fact, that is the vision of oneness. We would be giving you all our advice and we would be fully blessing you for that.
Dearest Shri Bhagavan, we see many miracles happening all over the world with the Shri Murtis. When will these miracles come to USA, Bhagavan?
It should start happening mostly from November, December of this year.
Most beloved Bhagavan, as individuals awaken here in America and Canada, how does the Oneness Blessing communities best support the awakening phenomenon that's spreading across our continent, Shri Bhagavan?
The Oneness communities would become like lighthouses, transforming communities around them.
Thank you, Shri Bhagavan. These are the questions, Shri Bhagavan. They would all like to have a blessing of Shri Bhagavan now, Bhagavan.
All the blessings to you. Love you all. Love you. Namaste.